Man, I don't know if everybody know about it, but man, they got this Kwame Brown situation going on, bro, and like, shout out to Kwame Brown, man. Shout out to Kwame Brown, man. Shout out to Kwame Brown for taking 20 years, bro, of being verbally abused by basically other black men, like he said, right? And he finally came out. And the thing I'm about to show you, the thing about it, this is really why I made this video, because that situation is letting me know what's about to happen, which I already know, but that's just feeding in to what's about to take place, right? See, a lot of stuff this year, and this on all kinds of different levels, you know, with preachers, these race hustlers like Jesse Jackson, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, you know, these guys who make black people feel like victims, Dr. Umar Johnson, these people, Tariq Nasheed, these people who've been basically making black people feel like victims their whole life. This situation with Kwame Brown, and I'm letting y'all know what's about to take place in 2021 and beyond. A lot of these people is about to get replaced, right? But I'm going to go ahead and start from the top, start with my boy Kwame. Kwame Brown, first of all, Kwame Brown, bro, people always like to say this man was a bust. First of all, he had a 13-year career. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, this dude was the best player in the world, bro. This dude was the best basketball player in the world in high school, not college, bro. Didn't even make it to college. He was the best basketball player in the world in high school. Come from a broken home. Well, I'm not going to really say a broken home because I really don't know all the facts and detail, and I want to respect his family. But had a little probably a few issues in the home, because we all do. Let's be honest about it. Majority of black men, especially, but black people, period, have some type of trauma. It's just part of our DNA coming up. Most of us, not all of us. I'm gonna say 90, because you got a few black people that came up. I know some. I got people in my family. They don't know nothing about the hard part of life, right? Dealing with this brother, man, he came from a situation. I'm sure, like I say, he had trauma. Then, I mind you, he comes straight from high school. Not only did he come straight from high school, he get drafted number one overall by Michael Jordan. I'm talking about Michael Jordan handpicked him and drafted him number one overall, right? Michael Jordan is a competitor. Michael Jordan was one of those guys, and he was getting fights with his teammate. He was extremely competitive, and he wanted everybody else to get there. So, this dude coming straight from a child. He a child, bro. Like, he's 17, bro. Going around men. And his debut game, in the NBA game, showed he wasn't a bust. It's just certain people handle stuff different. But there's a lot of points I'm about to make in this video. It wasn't Kwame Brown's purpose. See, we all got a purpose here. All of us has a purpose here, right? And some people never find a purpose, but we all have a purpose. And you might be working a job that's making $100,000 a year, but it's not your purpose. That's why you don't like it. That's why you might be successful and you're doing good in it, but it's not bringing you peace and happiness because it's not your purpose. See, right now, Kwame Brown and his purpose. And listen, it's not no coincidence that he coming out right now. See, the situation with Joseph, bro, Joseph in the Bible, y'all know this is a pro-Christ channel. Y'all know I'm all about the word. You know the situation with Joseph and his brothers threw him in that pit and left him for dead. Years later on down the line, they had to come to him and give food. He was a whole ruler in a palace. And you know what he said? He said, y'all used it for bad, but God used it for good, right? And see, Stephen Jackson, among all these other people who've been making this man a butt of the joke, but they didn't have social media then. They didn't have all the stuff they got then. Just so happened, they brought this man's name up about 2 weeks ago on their podcast, All the Smoke. And they were just using him as a joke, a butt of the joke. Him, Matt Barnes, and Gilbert Arenas on there, they brought this man's name up. He was just supposed to be a joke. They used it for bad, but God used it for good. Now look at Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown got 50,000+ subscribers in a couple days because they sent attention on him. They sent attention to him, and not only did they send attention to a deadbeat or just some random clown, they sent the attention to a dude who got a voice and who talking about something. They made the biggest mistake, but see, they didn't know. They didn't realize it. They didn't realize what they was doing. It was a joke. They meant it for bad, trying to clown. But God used it for good. And now this man he'd already got 50,000+ subscribers. He put merch out there. He turned up. And he talking about something. He calling Stephen A out. He calling all these black sportscasters out that every day get paid all this money to talk down on black men and follow them with a camera and see who they putting their penis in and see who they going doing this and doing that. Man, that white boy Chad Willer beat the brakes. I'm talking about beat a black woman, his girlfriend Chad Willer, for the Seahawks. He beat his girlfriend, which was black, beyond recognition. And guess what? Ain't nobody said nothing about it. You know why they ain't saying nothing about it on none of these sportscasters? You want me to tell you why? Come here, cuz I want to tell you why. Because the people that's over them look like Chad Willer. So you know what he told her behind? We're not going to speak. This is what they was told, because this is the Stephen A's, the Mad Boy and Stephen A. They was told, listen, we're not going to speak on that. They told him behind the scene in the green room, look, we're not going to speak on that. He made a mistake. He have mental issues. We're not going to talk about him. But let that happen with one of them Negroes. Let that happen. Look what they doing to Sean Jackson right now. Let that happen to one of them, Cam Newton, one of them. He'd have beat a one. Let that happen to one of these black athletes, LeBron Wayne. Well, let that would have happened to one of them. Man, they'd have took them and they'd have drowned them. But the people who look like Chad Willer is over them. And he said, look, y'all not going to speak about it. But let me get back to Kwame. Because let me get back to Kwame. I compare, you know who I like to call Kwame? I call Kwame the Tony Romo of the NBA. And the reason why I say that Tony Romo is a first ballot Hall of Famer, I ain't going to say Kwame a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I feel like, and I'm going to show you why he didn't get to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You take a kid out of high school, right? You take a little kid out of high school, you put him in the NBA, he the number one draft, he got the world in his hand. We don't know what he went through mentally, spiritually. All these people want money now. Your partners, your little homies, but you in a whole nother lane now, dog. And you don't know how this work on somebody mental, bro. And basketball is a fundamental sport. If your head not there, you not there. The dude showed in his debut. This dude was a kid and his debut eating. I believe he had a double-double or something like that there. In his debut, out of high school, in the NBA around grown men, Hall of Famers, and balled out. But stuff took his toll, and I felt like I say, basketball is more fundamental than it is physical. And by taking over, you know, certain things, certain aspects of the game, it wasn't Michael Jordan probably, it probably was a piece of it, but just everything that come with being a world-renowned star. You the man, you number one, you the first player out of high school to go number one. This is too big for you. Tony Romo, this is why I compare him to Tony Romo. Now, Tony Romo, he did get Hall of Fame numbers, and he's going to be the first ballot Hall of Famer. But the reason why Tony Romo didn't never win a Super Bowl or become or reach his full potential was because he couldn't take pressure. He couldn't deal with it. People like Brady, they can deal with it. Everybody is different, bro. Everybody is different. Some people can deal with pressure. Some people can't, bro. And when I'm speaking about Kwame Brown, just being a black man, having trauma already, just being a black man, a young black man, you don't know what he went through. And his head just wasn't there anymore. But I'm going to show you something that's cool, because guess why? That wasn't his purpose. See, when you get in your purpose, matter of fact, I got a video about that on my channel. See, when you get in your purpose, it's like a hot knife going through butter. He in his purpose now. And anytime a black man talk like he talk with the wisdom that he talking about, and like I say, this is the time where a lot of people is about to be dethroned, and a lot of people, and I spoke about this in the beginning of this video, and I'm going back to that. There's about to be some replacements going on. You know, you got these Jesse Jacksons, you got these Ben Crumps, you got these Al Sharpton. These people been crying and black this, black, making black people feel like victims for years. Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, they race hustlers. They make their money off making the black man and woman feel like victims. And it's not getting us anywhere. We can see that now. It's not getting us anywhere. But you got the brothers like Jesse Lee Peterson. And they actually trying to make a change. They not talking about it, they being about it. And the first thing they doing is they calling out and making black people take Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, Angela Stanton. They making black people look at themselves and say, listen, this person not the problem. The white man is not the problem. Y'all are the problem. And in order for somebody to fix something and come to a solution, you have to first understand that there's a problem. The problem is with us. We had a black president for 8 years. He did nothing for us. Not one little thing. Right? Not to mention, it's not about finances no more. Just black women alone. Just black. Look these things that I'm saying up. Just black women alone spend $3 billion on cosmetics. You can go on any Instagram feed and you see rappers with big old stacks of money, $10,000 worth of clothes on. So it's not a finance thing right now. It's not about that. It's not about that anymore. It's just about a whole bunch of people talking, making black people feel like victims. And the stuff Kwame Brown saying about building up our black men. And he didn't speak about this, but I'm speaking about it. Single parent households is a serious issue in the black community, and it's hurting everybody. Kwame Brown said something. He said, you know what, when I came up, my daddy and my stepdaddy and men in my life told me to shut the F up. In my household, I came up with my dad, and he didn't curse, but I know what it's like for him to scream at me and tell him shut up. These days, you can't even do that to these young men. You fuss at them, one or two things gonna happen. They gonna be like a woman, and have their feelings gonna be hurt, or they want to hurt somebody. They get emotional, compulsive, and want to act like they emotional like a woman. You know why? Because they don't know nothing about coming up having a man telling you no. Scream at you. All they mama do is baby this, baby that, baby this. And when they mama do fuss at them, it's because she having a bad day. But any other time, she playing. Right? So like I say, man, shout out Kwame Brown, man. Because a lot of people like Kwame Brown is about to replace people like Stephen Jackson, who is part of the problem. Oh, Black Lives Matter. We oppressed. Come on, Stephen Jackson, man. Stop that, man, making people feel like a victim, man. Because guess what? And I don't care if nobody like what I'm about to say. 8 or 9 out of 10 brothers that was killed by the police, if they would have just followed the cop orders, they'd be here today. But you know why they didn't? Because majority of them was raised by a woman. I'm just speaking facts. Majority of them was raised by a woman, and they don't know how to respect. They wasn't taught to respect authority. They mama tell them, I've been around these single mothers, man. I'm not just on here talking. I done been around these single mothers, man. And they tell these little boys 30, 40 times, no, or don't do that, don't do that. And that little boy grow up, and he think that other little boy that look like him, that grew up like him, without no daddy in the home, listening to be a young boy, he think he gonna tell him 2-3 times, and that's how he get his head bust. He think Mr. Police gonna tell him 3-4 times to get out that car. Yeah, that police might tell a white boy 50 times because he look like him. When he see that white, and I hate when black people do it. When he wouldn't do that to a white person, well, you not white. When he look at that white boy, he see a brother, he see a son, he see a father, he see an uncle. When he look at you, he see somebody that's violent, that kill their own like it ain't nothing. That's what he see. So he not gonna tell you through it 3 times like mama did. He gonna knock your head off, and he's shooting to kill. And yes, it's a problem. In some situations, they do have racist police, but for the most part, a lot of these police don't want to have to do that. But these niggas forcing them dudes' hands, bro, and they scared of y'all. I'm scared of some of these niggas, man, and I'm from the hood. You heard me? So I'm saying all that to say, man, we need to Jesse Lee Peterson, man. I respect that brother, and he speak about building up the home, Christ the head, the man, the woman, the children. Christ, man, woman, children. And until the black community get it back in that order, we're going to continue to be in the situation that we in, and we're going to get worse. Shout out Kwame Brown, man. You just let it be. You just another confirmation that the real kings is about to rise this year. The real chosen people is about to rise this year and replace these people who've been just even in the churches. The real prophets and men of God and women of God about to raise and replace these preachers, not all of them, but most of them who just been blah, 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 year after year, getting people money, nobody being saved, nobody being delivered, nobody getting salvation. God is upset right now. And the main reason he upset, he upset at a lot of stuff going on in the world, the LGBTQ and all this stuff here. He more upset with the people in the church than he is with the world. And the reason why is because he knew what the world was going to do. He is already in the Bible. The Bible say in the last days, good gonna be evil, evil gonna be good. Right now, LGBTQ is something that's looked at as good. If you talk about them, you'll lose everything, endorsements, job, anything. You can't talk about LGBT nowhere you go. And that's wrong. God loves the LGBT community, but in the New Testament, Old Testament, God is against men being with men and women being with women. And they done took it a step further now and they changing their sex. They playing God, man. Yes, God upset with that. But you can't make, but they accept it. Abortion, killing babies is looked at as a good thing right now. And if you against it, that's why they got Trump out of there. Right now, it's not about Democrat, Republican, and none of that. It's about good versus evil. That's what it's about right now, bro. It's a battle of good versus evil. And even though evil getting a victory, good always win in the end, because guess who's staying by good? God. And guess what? He about to show the world that the devil is only, see, the devil on a chain. God is omnipotent. He over everything. God just used the coronavirus. He allowed the coronavirus. He allowed the election. And I spoke on that of situation. But he allowed a lot of stuff to take place to usher in and see, well, not see because he already know, but to usher in what he about to usher in this year. And the situation with Kwame Brown, Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes used it for bad, but God gonna turn it to good. Look at Kwame Brown now. He ain't got no boss. He his own boss. And eventually that All the Smoke podcast is gonna go up in smoke because y'all gonna do the same thing to each other. You and Stephen Jackson, Matt Barnes, y'all gonna do the same thing that happened over there in the Joe Budden podcast. It's gonna happen. You can't put your mouth, you trying to talk and clown somebody. Because if I remember, Stephen Jackson, Matt Barnes, y'all was second round draft picks and y'all had to go to the D League or some other league before y'all went to the NBA. That dude went to the NBA, a first round draft pick out of high school. So in my opinion, he's not a bust. He just wasn't in his purpose. And he still changed a lot of people's lives around him. But he in his purpose now, and God gonna bless it. Because this is the season that if you build it, God gonna bless it. If it's and I'm saying not anything, you know what I'm saying? It can't be nothing against the will of God. And he go, but if you doing something right that's positive to help people, it don't even gotta be by nothing biblical. It don't gotta be, if it's something to help the community, This is the season. It's a shift going on. If you build it, God gonna bless it. So I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching my video. Once again, shout out Kwame Brown, man. I'm with you, man. I'm rolling with you, man. Holla at me, man. One love.